You ever wondered how to put cams in your twin cam? Today you're going to find out. Crackerjack Mechanic, thanks for tuning in. My next video, that's exactly what I'm going to show you. So what I've got here is a 120R. We're actually going to pull the cam cover off here. We're going to have a look inside. We're going to check pinion runout. We're going to get the pipe off, and I'm going to take the air cleaner system off and pull the cover off, and we'll do an inspection in there. I'm going to show you how to do that. So first things first is we're going to actually take the exhaust off of the bike, get it out of the way so we can get to the parts that we need to work on. Now that we've got the exhaust off the motorcycle, I'm going to take the intake off, and then I'll show you how we find top dead center of the compression stroke. So now I'm going to show you how to turn the engine over when you don't have the primary off. I've selected top gear, so we're all the way up into 6th on this particular model. We're going to be able to use the rear wheel to turn the engine over through the primary. We don't have access, we don't want to take the primary cover off. So I've got the rear wheel lifted off the ground. I've got the jack here, so the rear wheel's off the ground. I'm able to get underneath there and turn it over. Now this 120R motor has really heavy valve springs, so it's a lot more difficult to turn the engine over, but we'll work over that. So what we're feeling for is the compression stroke on the front cylinder, and I can feel it coming up on compression now. I'll let my finger off the spark plug hole just a little bit as I push it up. I'm just going to use a pick in the spark plug hole. I can feel the top of the piston in there now. Don't use something that could fall in, but now I know that when I was rolling the wheel through, I felt the engine come up on compression. You'll feel the air trying to escape through the spark plug hole. That's the compression stroke, so you're actually compressing the fuel mixture. I know that the piston is at the top, dead center now. I can feel it up there. So the valves are closed, which means that the push rods themselves have no tension against them. So I'm able to go in on the front cylinder on the push rods and cut them out. I'll show you that next. Now you're able to do the same for the rear cylinder. You won't have to work against the valve springs because the push rods are out on the front cylinder. So you roll it over with your finger over the spark plug hole, feeling for that compression, the push against your finger. And then you'll know you're coming up on top dead center of the compression stroke. That's where you cut the push rods out. All right, so you just need a screwdriver. You can go up in here, pick the push rod keeper out, just give it a flick and it'll come out. You should be able to free up your push rods. Spray a little lube in there. Help get things moving. I can slide that up and I can actually spin the push rod spins so you know that there's no pressure. We're able to cut that one out. So now is the part that intimidates some first time people, but we just get out the bolt cutter. There's no tension on the spring. So I got the push rod tube pushed up here, push rod covers up, and I've got access to the push rod. I thought we were going to cut them out with the bolt cutters, but we found out on the 120R motor that those are likely chromoly. They're very hard. I'm not going to get bolt cutters through there, so we're going to have to go to plan B, which will be to lift the tank and take the rocker boxes off to access this side cover. So on this particular application, you're not able to cut them out, unfortunately. It's a little bit more labor. It's not a big deal. I've done them both ways. Okay, so we found out that the Screaming Eagle, the 120R motors use Screaming Eagle push rods, which makes sense. They're stronger chromoly and you're just not able to cut them with the bolt cutters. So we had to go on to plan B, which is to actually take the rocker box covers off, take the rocker arm carrier out of the way and pull the push rods up. So we're still getting the top dead center the same way, which I did show you on the front cylinder. Now I'm going to show you on the rear. Valve springs are quite heavy for this performance motor, really strong, so you got to work against them. But I am in sixth gear on this particular one. I reach down and I'll turn the wheel with my hand while feeling with a finger over the spark plug hole, waiting for the engine to come up on compression stroke. You'll feel it push against your finger. So I can feel it coming up now. I can hear it as well because I'm letting my finger off the spark plug hole a little bit. And then it stopped. So the piston is probably near top dead center. And I'll check. It's close. Yeah, it was there. So good. Now we've got the piston at top dead center of compression, so the valves are closed, so there's no load on the push rods themselves. Now we're able to take the rocker box covers off, take the rocker arm carrier out, and take the push rods out, and we're back to where we want it to be by cutting the push rods out. So just an extra step, a couple steps, take the tank off, which is straightforward on the newer bikes. There's no crossover tube. It was really handy. It wasn't a big deal, so we will proceed on the other side, and I'll show you that after. Thanks.
Smile.
little push rod O-ring giving me a little bit of grief. I got it loose. Now the one at the bottom wants to stick, so there we go, got it loose. Slide these guys up, get them loose. Now we're going to take the rocker arm carrier, loosen it, take the bolts out so we can slide the rocker arm shafts out, take the rocker arms out, keep them matched, keep the arms with which. So these are the smaller bolts in the center are 3/8. We want to loosen the smaller ones before we loosen the bigger ones. They're all part of that carrier, and we don't want to put, there is theoretically no load on there, but there is a little bit of pressure from the hydraulic units when you release. So the push rods are loose enough right now that they spin, so you know you've got no pressure from the cam because we're on top dead center of the compression stroke. The valves are closed. Just going to go ahead and take this off. I like to use 1/4 inch stuff a lot. Gets in places you need to go. You tend not to over tighten stuff when you use the 1/4 inch drive. So again, I'm loosening off these 3/8 bolts in there. So there's a little bit of space, and then I'm going to take the rocker carrier bolts out. Good and tight from the factory. And just tap it. You can see it come up a little bit from the hydraulic pressure from below. From the hydraulic loop tappets. So I go from side to side and just do a bit of a progressive loosening. It's my own way of doing it, kind of recommended so things don't bind up as they're kind of raising a little bit. And now, because I can, speed things up a little bit. Get these bolts right out of here. These bolts actually go through a notch in the rocker arm shafts. Helps keep them in place. I'll show you that after. So get those two bolts out. Push the rocker arm shafts through. I grab them with the offset, take it out. Have a quick look at the shaft to see if there's any significant wear. You can see a little bit here, it's not too bad. And there's the notch. You can see the notch that the bolt actually engages with when they're in the correct depth. So I take the push rod, rather the rocker arm out itself, put it right back in there to keep it matched. Set it off to the side with the valve, the rocker cover. And we'll do the same on this side. Always want to fight you. Have a quick look at it for any wear. Nothing overly significant to worry about. Rocker arm out. Slide it back together. Set it over with your rocker box cover. Now you can lift the push rods out. And again, you can see these are the Screaming Eagle ones. Now we'll be able to take off the cam cover, go inside there, get it out. I'll do that in the next segment. So normally we could leave the tappet block covers on and put the little wire clips in to hold the tappets up. So now that we've got everything out of the cam chest, I'm going to set up and we can check out the runout on the pinion shaft. See if it's within specification. So I've got the dial indicator on the end of the pinion shaft. We use the rear wheel to roll it over just like we did when we were checking for compression. You can see that the needle doesn't move, less than half a thou, which is well within specification. If you like this video, click that subscribe button down on the right hand side. I'm Crackerjack Mechanic. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click that subscribe button down on the right hand side. I'm Crackerjack Mechanic. Thanks for watching.